put this in the middle so I can read it.
Here we go.
Oh, excuse me.
All right, happy Friday, friends.
Happy Friday.
An accent, I don't know where that came from. Friends. Today we're going to talk to you about blogging. It's something that we haven't really discussed on any of our Friday videos in the past, but blogging is a question that we get a lot. We get a lot of questions about this topic, but we haven't ever really done any Fridays on it, so I thought, why the heck not? Let's dig in. So blogging, you know, here's a fun fact, just to start. Marketers or businesses who prioritize blogging are 13 times more likely to get a positive ROI on their overall marketing efforts. So if there's one piece of the digital marketing puzzle that makes a huge difference, it's actually blogging, which is kind of interesting. Because I feel like a lot of people just kind of push blogs off these days. It's like, well, it's either too time consuming or it's too much of an investment, but the return on investment that you get out of it is phenomenal if you do it well with the strategy in place.
Exactly. I feel like it's either pushed aside or not thought of at all. But quickly remind everyone what ROI means.
Oh, return on investment.
Exactly. We love those. We love a good return on investment. And while we know that not everyone likes to take the time to write, or not everyone thinks that their work is exceptional at writing, it is a great thing to invest in, or at least spend time and invest in your time to do it.
Right. And a blog should really do two different things for every business or organization. It should help you show up in search engine results so that potential new clients or customers can find you. And it should also nurture the relationship that you have with your current audience and keep them coming back to you for more and more and more. Those are the two ultimate goals for every single blog, no matter what kind of industry or business that you're in.
Yeah, keep those people coming back around for new content.
So how do you keep them coming back for new content though? Quality content is what does the trick, but what does quality even mean, and how do you determine what is high quality content in general? There are a few tips that we've come up with to help you figure this out. It's really a combination of factors. So we've come up with 5 quick and easy tips for you on how to strategically choose your blog topics. So number 1 is a strategy, right, Kara?
Yeah, and document that strategy. We always are big believers in documenting strategy for whatever part of your business it is. You can do the work up front, and then you can save time in the long run, do some research, determine your voice, your tone, brainstorm all the topics, and definitely set some goals. Determine the frequency of when you're going to post, document all of those answers.
Yeah, and even look ahead of what metrics you're going to measure so that you know you're achieving those goals too. But it's one of those things that we talk about for everything. Strategies are so important, but not just to have a kind of a plan in your head or an idea of what you want to do, but an actual documented strategy makes a world of a difference. Our second tip is to always consider and keep the user's intent at the forefront of your strategy. So what are your users or your audience? What are they looking for exactly? Instead of thinking in general terms about a potential blog topic, you want to get more specific, and you want to think about the way that people are actually searching for information, because that's what our blog should do. Is it should provide value and insight into whatever topic you are an expert in. So for us, I'll give this example of, we wouldn't do just like, you know, the top 10 tips for, or I wouldn't do like our favorite tools and resources. I would do more specific of like the top 5 tools that you need to create captivating captions for your social media. Like I would get really, really specific about that. And that's what people are searching for. They're not searching for, you know, product XYZ or service XYZ service. Right. They're thinking in more specific terms of how it helps them. So you have to kind of frame it that way in your brain when you're coming up with your topics and your headlines.
Right. So think about what if you were searching for something, if you were looking for something in the category of what your business is, think about what you would enter into Google if you were trying to search for tools, helpful articles, what you would put in the search bar of Pinterest, because a lot of blogs are linked in there as well. And just think about kind of the opposite direction. And we understand that that might seem like a very long title, but it's going to definitely be more beneficial.
Right. So when we're talking about titles and headlines, tip number 3 is to use Google to
Yeah.
help. So this is kind of an offshoot of that thought where Kara was going. And you can use Google to help you determine if what you're going to write about is even relevant in the first place. And how you do that, when you write it or you come up with your title of your blog post, you type it into Google and then see what kind of results come up. If Google can't figure out what you're trying to say or what you're trying to find, then you need to rethink your topic a little bit. So if it's just kind of a hodgepodge mix of all kinds of information, it's probably not the greatest title or topic. But if you clean it up a little bit and then Google is like boom, 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 these are, all very, very specific, relevant answers that fall into the same category.
Yeah. The fourth tip is to skip the old tried and ineffective strategy of loading your post with keywords that will help you rank. Instead, use the keyword planner tools to help you determine which high volume, low competition words you can use. Make data-driven decisions to guide your blog content strategy.
Yeah, gone are the days of when we could just like cram all the keywords into a blog post and hope that that gets you ranking. You need to think about your user experience and how you want to keep them coming back for more and more and more. And when you do that, when we use those old strategies of just loading up with keywords, it really deters people because they show up. Yeah, you might rank, but they go to your blog, they go through it, and then they don't get the information that they actually need or want. And it's very frustrating. So they're not going to come back to you and think of you as a reliable source of information.
Exactly. And not only that, people are so over inundated with different options and different people posting. And while each one might be individually slightly different and unique to you, you need to keep them coming back if you want to be successful.
Yeah, definitely. The whole thing is that you want them to subscribe to that blog, which then leads them to your newsletter or where, like we have to look at that whole marketing funnel of like where they're coming in and how to keep them coming through that customer life cycle over and over and over again. So tip number 5 is to review your analytics on a regular basis. The data is there for us. Let's use it to our advantage. As always, we love some data-driven decisions. So, you can take a look at what your most popular blog post is and see what your audience is really interested in. And that can spur some creative ideas for new content. So you look at, your blog post about the 6 keys to a successful vendor event, then what does that spur from there? You can ask yourself some questions of, well, if someone read this, what would their next steps be? What would their next set of questions be? What didn't I answer here? And you can kind of get the juices flowing a little bit in the right direction by looking at that information in your data. And you can also cruise this comment. So once you get blogging and you have loyal followers, they're going to tell you what they want and need. Mm-hmm. So whether it's on your blog posts, the comments there, or when you share those to social media, going back through those comments and seeing what kind of questions and comments that people make.
Yeah, get involved and, get active with your followers that you do have, posting on social media, give a poll, say, hey, what kind of blog topics would you like this month? Or would you like in general? What do you find more fascinating? Or what kind of common questions about your industry do people have?
Yeah, I think using those stickers on Instagram stories is a great way to do that.
Yes.
It's so easy and engaging, and it's such an easy way to get more content and understand your audience a bit better. So
it is, and it's a great way to interact with them. And not only that, you can give them a quick response back and post it to your story again, give a quick response, but then of course follow up with saying, I will be putting this all into a blog post. We'll let you know when that's out.
Yep, exactly. So those are our 5 tips for strategically picking your blog topics. Hope it was helpful. If you want to learn more, then please leave us a comment in the below this video, and we would be happy to elaborate or answer any questions you might have about blogging or your website or whatever it might be. But thanks for tuning in this week's episode of 5 Minute Ish Friday, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Have a great Friday.